All right, welcome everyone to the Fallen Vets Hackathon podcast. We're here with Gladys and Adrian. Yeah, Gladys, why don't you take it away by talking about your background, and then I'll ask the same to Adrian.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us here today. We're very excited. My name is Gladys Chiang, and this is my second year coming to Full In Hackathon. And my little bit about my background is I'm currently working in different lab. I'm in a cardiovascular tissue engineering lab at Stanford, as well as an innovation lab that I joined recently. And I'm very excited to talk more about what we're doing at towards the end of the podcast. But I'm also ever since the last year, with our winning record, I also got into a program at Berkeley and UCSF. It's called Master of Translational Medicine, combining like my passion for like innovation in medicine. I really hope in that program can bring more like the technology part of it and how we can impact the field more. Yeah, thank you.
Very cool. Yeah, looking forward to talking about that towards the end here. Looks like some really cool stuff that you're doing in the medical side of things. Awesome. Speaking of, you said you got hand surgery not so long ago. How are you doing with that?
I did. Look at me. I get a
Oh my
free
gosh.
pass to flip everyone off now. But yeah, I
Nice.
was doing research and I accidentally completely cut off my extensor tendon. And
Ooh.
luckily, I work at the VA hospital. So I went to the emergency room immediately. And what's funny that day was I was in so much shock, right? And I got in there, I start feeling the pain and the blood just won't stop. And I look at it, it was droopy, and I was like, hey, I no biggies, few stitches. But then it turns out it became a full-on surgery the next day. And I'm still in recovery, just had my hand therapy today as well. But one fun fact, I did all the design for this hackathon with one hand.
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm glad you got the care, and I'm glad it sounds like you're working towards progress here.
Thank you.
Um, cool, Adrian. You want to give us your background?
Yeah. So my name is Adrian Garcia. I just got out of the military last year, and um, I just I actually just finished up a boot camp just before attending the hackathon. So it kind of aligned perfectly there. But now I'm just trying to kind of on the job hunt and studying for AWS certification right now. Super excited about it.
Nice. So yeah, let's dive into the project that you guys had built. Cosmic Chatter. It was for this past hackathon, which just took place from um, May 17th through the 19th, and in the year of 2024, just in case anyone's curious. But yeah, do you want to go and talk about what inspired Gladys?
Yeah, definitely. Well, first, I think it took a lot of brainstorm session, and we ended up with Cosmic Chatter. Personally, I found this app really cool. But we're definitely inspired by the dual goals of advancing scientific discovery as well as enhancing national security, which is the theme of this year's hackathon, space and defense. So by creating this platform like Cosmic Chatter, we harness the collective power of citizen scientists so we can quickly identify potential extraterrestrial signals while also monitoring space for any unusual activities that could impact our national defense or even just globally defense, right? So we had this democratized approach so that not only accelerates scientific progress but also strengthen our space defense capabilities.
That's awesome. That sounds really cool. Um, Adrian, did you have to switch teams in the beginning? Remind me, or did you stick, or did you start with Cosmic Chatter and ended with them?
Yeah, I started and ended with. I think me and Gladys had got in contact before it even started, and we're trying to brainstorm some ideas. So, yeah.
Cool. And what would you say that inspired you about it to get started with that with this particular project?
I just thought it was a great idea. One of our teammates had thought about it, and I was just really excited to get into like the programming aspect of it. So I was like, um, kind of reaching out for Gladys to get the UI UX done, and then we were just kind of all brainstorming. It was really fun.
Nice.
Yeah, we actually
Um,
had a lot of project ideas that we came up with. One
yeah.
thing I was like, what if we had like a translator so we can potentially talk to aliens?
Oh, interesting. How would that work?
That was just like a wild dreams I have to be able to chat with the aliens. But I'm glad we went for something more, something that we can use together.
Yeah, it reminds me of this movie. I can't remember the name of it, but it's like the aliens come and they're like communicating with like ink, and then there's like linguists that comes in and they're like having to interpret what the aliens are talking about. You guys know what movie I'm talking about by chance? Um,
No.
I'll try to pull it up, but yeah, I mean, there's so much that you can do with like space projects. But I'm excited to learn more about Cosmic Chatter. I'm curious, how does the app leverage citizen science to analyze radio data? Um, yeah, Gladys, you want to take this one?
Yeah, yeah, sure. Well, our platform utilizes crowdsourcing, right, to analyze the vast amounts of radio telescope data. But traditional method can be very limited, right, by the availability of experts in the field, their time and resources. So, by providing this platform to open out to everyone, we can engage a large number of citizen scientists, and that way we can sift through all the data faster and quickly, and while identifying any abnormalities that might be missed, right, because of the limited resources they have. So really, like, um we just want to like be able to use this platform so we can potentially also engage like low resources communities if we have this out there for those communities such as underserved community who may not even know these things exist, right? And by allowing a different diverse communities, people, citizen scientists to come to participate, the inclusivity not only democratize the space exploration field, but also inspire more people to pursue like STEM, and really we hope to foster a new generation of innovator thinkings and also just help with scientific discovery and national security.
Very cool. Adrian, do you want to add any color to that?
Yeah, I think kind of the idea behind it was kind of like to make it a really open platform, and I think we had an idea to kind of gamify the some of the aspects of the
Yes.
of the application as well, which was very interesting. But it was kind of just, I think its role was to like have a very open environment, so people who aren't so familiar um, with the technology are able to come in and just look through everyone else's data and maybe play with it as well.
Yeah, like, and just on top of what Adrian said, like, we really just wanted to be like an open platform so everyone had the access to, not just the experts, like, all like storing one place. We want to utilize the data for a more efficient purpose as well and just open it up.
Cool. Um, I actually looked up the movie that I was talking about where aliens come in, they try to communicate. It's called Arrival. Um,
Arrival.
so if anyone's ever curious, that's the movie I was talking about. Just a little off tangent. Do you guys have any favorite space movies worth mentioning? I'm not sure how deep, no pun intended, but how deep you guys are into space. Yeah, Adrian, do you have
Adrian,
or yeah, go ahead, Gladys.
Adrian, do you want to go first?
Oh, you
Because
want me to go
mine's a
first?
little
Yeah.
bit more of my childhood memory.
um, I think when it comes to space, maybe a movie like District 9 I thought was pretty cool.
Nice.
For
Yeah.
me, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, please.
No, for me, I think I'm a little bit still a little bit on the immature side of me. Is that I love Lilo and Stitch. It's not like
I
any
didn't know that was
science
a space
fiction
movie.
movie. Well, I love Stitch. And that's an alien and I love aliens.
Yeah, it showed on the designs. I mean, I thought I was thoroughly impressed with the design work. More than any project that we've had. Um, and it's so colorful, and everything's like aesthetically pleasing. So kudos to the design work you've done. It really shows that you've got like a passion for aliens, and it just yeah, it makes sense why you guys chose Cosmic Chatter. Um, yeah, going back to the project, I'm curious, what are some of the examples of the types of signals that could potentially indicate, there's extraterrestrial intelligence or unknown technological activities in space?
Adrian, do you want to go first?
Yeah. I think from what we found from the data we were trying to look at was kind of any of the sound signals, because I think if I recall correctly, there was some data that was coming out of NASA that would kind of take in any of the frequencies out there in space and try to like um, just turn it into like a PDF, or not a PDF, but like an MP4 file that we could listen to. Very interesting. Um, yeah, that's how I remember.
Yeah, Gladys, any other examples?
Yeah,
Um,
like the research side came out of me when when we did this about like abnormalities and all that. So like I googled so this is definitely not like an expert opinion, so take it with a grain of salt, right? But some like the research I've done that potential signals that shows like unknown technological activity or just abnormalities. It includes like the radio signal like not being like narrow bandwidth. So apparently like it shows that like it's not natural basically. And another example is that if it's too structured, the pattern of the signal, and that's also doesn't match with the natural phenomena. Another thing that we will hopefully incorporate in the tutorial is like all this information about how to detect abnormality. So for users to really use that like as a way so that everyone could could be a cosmic detector.
Very cool. Um, what or how could a fully developed version um, impact our understanding of space and potentially influence national defense? Do you guys have any opinions around that? And I could rephrase the question if it doesn't make sense. I know it's a bit chunky here.
Yeah, so my understanding of that is kind of like trying to see the functionality our application might tie into like something in space defense. Is that kind of what you're asking?
Yeah,
I think it would lie more towards like just kind of crowdsourcing maybe images or audio that is coming out of space and maybe trying to identify some of the objects out there.
Mhm.
yeah. So, for example, my friend Robert is a astrophotographer. He's got this telescope by Unistellar. Works with the iPad, and are you saying that we can take these images and run it through your app, and it would give us some type of signal or some type of data on this image?
That could be like a future development, right? Like you mentioned, when Cosmic Chatter is fully developed. So far we can look at different things. Maybe Adrian can take over on the different functions or like the data we can use, such as like audios. But honestly, I think that once it's developed, our it can be very much used by adaptive for like national security or defense, right? And to monitor space for unusual activities or potential threat. So just help us better prepare or respond to any like space threats, or just even for like and people who are passionate about space, being able to dive into the unknown is very exciting.
Yeah, and now when it comes to the app that's or the prototype you guys have built, I noticed that it's mostly in Python. Did you guys use any APIs that you plugged into? Um, and if so, what are those? And yeah, maybe Adrian, you can take this one on how the app really works on getting you know audio and turning that into some type of signal.
Yeah. So we didn't get to the point where we're implementing any APIs or even making any calls to any external sources, but that was definitely in our plan for development. As far as taking in user data, we were going to streamline it from the front end using uh, just a form, and then maybe passing it through our database. That's the idea I had going into it, at least.
Cool. Let's switch to the design side of things. Um, Gladys, how was the UI designed for accessibility, in your opinion?
Oh, definitely. I so when you land on the home page, there are three big buttons that I purposely put it around like the globe, or more like the earth. So it's like to analyze, record, or even upload audio. I want to make sure like users can easily utilize our functions at like just like a big. I don't want it to be like a beautiful. I want it to be beautiful but practical. So when I design the user interface, I definitely have I want it to be human centered, and also like Adrian mentioned before, we try to gamify it. So I had like a little storyline even draft out. I even call like our users the cosmic detectors, just to make it fun. Because when we were chatting about it, like as a group meeting, I remember I was like, this is like. I don't have like a better reference, but to me it's so cool. It's like 007 in space. Like I'm trying to like solve something and be part of something that can contribute to like better securities.
Yeah. Um, have you guys put much thought into what like extra? I don't even know how to say it. So long. Like alien signals could potentially even sound like. Um, yeah. Do you guys have? Do you guys put any thought towards that?
I didn't really think about it too much, to be honest. I just kind of expected users to look for things that are abnormal to us, because we probably, I feel like if something isn't really sticking out to us or something isn't really common for us to listen to, it would be very, what's the word? Very potent, something very distinct that you'd be able to call out. And that was kind of part of our application as well. It was like back to the whole crowdsourcing thing. I think that Gladys had the idea of having a discussion forum, which was going to be used to kind of like in tandem with the analyze functionality of the application. So people can kind of look through the audio that was being taken in and maybe talk about it and theorize about their ideas as well.
On top of that, I think during our group discussion, we also came up together with the AI visualizer. So, when you mentioned that, actually, I haven't thought about what it will sound like, but I thought about I want to know what it will look like based on what AI think. So I think that feature is so cool to me because you never know, right? Maybe AI knows it better than us what it will look like.
You never know.
You
Um,
never know.
yeah, I'm gonna have to search it on these like image generator prompts or image generator tools and prompt something. Um, cool. Adrian, did you have any like notable experiences during the hackathon? Whether it was like a team collaboration session or maybe a particular speaker. Um, Anything notable sticking out from the hackathon?
Yeah, I remember the general coming in, and I thought that was a very nice experience for us to have, having his like very interesting background working at Guantanamo, I believe it was.
Yep.
So that was really cool. In terms of like development and things, we did expand, and I was playing with some of the tech that I have not touched yet. Yet, at least it was like Next.js and TypeScript, so that was pretty interesting on that end.
Cool. Yeah. What about for you, Gladys? I know you were mostly designing, but I don't know if you got a chance to check out any of the speakers. But anything notable on your end from the hackathon?
Honestly, I wanna kudos to you guys in like structuring everything, the workshop, the speakers. But what stood out to me is actually at the end where Adriana came in for like a retrospective session. I don't recall having that last year, but I really think this is a great touch. So we know what to improve, ask any questions, and how do we further better ourselves and think about like what could have done better and what we're good at. So I really appreciate that.
Nice. Touching on the military side of things, since it is a vets hackathon, Adrian, did you know you were going to get into tech as you were getting out? What was that story like?
Yeah, so actually, I have a very convoluted, interesting journey in that regard. I was out in Maine, is where I'm from, and
Nice.
I didn't have like the best grades growing up, and I was like, oh, what can I do from here? So I'd kind of brainstormed and did it kind of like last minute or very impulsively, at least. I remember I contacted the recruiter, decided I was going to join the Air Force, and then 2 weeks later, I was down in Texas. So that was very interesting. But the idea behind that was to serve my time and then use the benefits that I got to kind of explore the things that it really interested me, which was tech itself.
Very cool. Were you considering joining any other branches while you were kind of researching? Did the Marine Corps ever cross your mind or anything?
Yeah, the Marine Corps, the Army. Yeah, I definitely looked at everything, and then um, I think everyone kind of knows, but I looked at the quality of life, and I was like, oh man, the Air Force seems like it's the way to go. So I just ended up choosing that based off of that.
Nice. Yeah, I don't blame you at all. Um, cool. Um, yeah, going back to the hackathon project, it was a very short term project, but do you guys believe that platforms like Cosmic Chatter could meaningfully accelerate the search for extraterrestrial intelligence? Yeah, Gladys, you want to take this one?
Yeah, absolutely. The collective intelligence and diverse perspective that citizen scientists can lead to many new discoveries and insights that might be missed by a smaller group of experts. And that's why I think this platform is so crucial because of how openly accessible these data can be. And actually, this just reminds me of this saying in Mandarin, actually. It's called like three humble shoemakers are better than one zhuge liang. Okay, let me give a little background. So, like, if you may wonder, like, who is zhuge liang, right? Zhuge liang is actually a renowned strategist in ancient China. Is very much known for his like wisdom and intelligence. So the phrase "three humble shoemakers are better than one zhuge liang" is actually to highlight to teach us that the power of collective effort, where the combined knowledge and skills of many can surpass that of a single expert. And I think it's perfect to use it in this incident where we're trying to collect all these great minds, diverse in experience from citizen scientists, so we can further improve our discoveries in extraterrestrial intelligence or even just for space defense.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it's an awesome story there. Um, Adrian, I'm curious, what other fields do you think could benefit from citizen science?
I feel like um, there would be application in many fields. I think just like Gladys had mentioned, I think there's power in numbers, and just having a platform where everyone can come together and maybe do some research or meet other people that are interested in the same thing. I think that'll be very helpful.
Mhm.
Yeah, and then do you have any takes on this as well, as far as what other fields could benefit, Gladys?
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, definitely. So, given my background and my passion in translational medicine and medical innovation, I see incredible potential in like crowdsourcing these citizen science in medicine. So actually, I want to touch upon like how this will be useful in regard of the parallel advancement in AI, right? So right now, AI has made big strides in analyzing medical data and identifying patterns, and there are areas where human insights is truly invaluable. So, for example, crowdsourcing can be really beneficial in enhancing clinical research by involving patient and caregivers in reporting real world health outcomes and side effects. So, and then also in terms of like maybe like rare disease research, patient and their family can also use like a crowdsourcing platform to contribute to like unique insights and data that can be crucial in understanding these rare conditions and to help further develop more treatments. So long story short, crowdsourcing in medicine would be like something that I see as something to speed up our scientific discovery even more and also empower individual to play an active role in their health and well-being. And going back to our cosmic matter a chatter sorry cosmic chatter, um it's the same thing in like empowering those individuals to take part in their citizenship responsibility and know that national security could be part of their like contribution as well.
Very cool. Um, Adrian, I wanted to ask a little bit about your experience with Code Platoon. Um, could you talk about what that experience was like, how you chose Code Platoon, and um, yeah, just your journey with them so far?
Yeah, so I was actually looking at a bunch of different coding bootcamps at the time, and I was really looking for something that was veteran friendly or someone that could speak to my experience in the military. And I ended up just coming across Code Platoon, looking at their curriculum and um, I guess their kind of motto. And it seemed very, very friendly for veterans and military spouses as well. And that's how I ended up really choosing. My experience inside of my cohort was really nice. We had a bunch of people. I think our cohort was one of the largest that they had so far. We had
Wow,
people all over the U.S., so that was really exciting.
cool. And on your GitHub, you got this like little animation where like um, your name. It's like hello there, and then your name. Are you using like a widget or some type of plugin? How did you get that going on your GitHub?
Yeah, I believe that's a functionality from a website that I used inside of the README there. That was very interesting. They actually um, helped us configure our GitHub profile and kind of set it up at Code Platoon as well. So that was nice.
Very cool. Um, and then um, as we're wrapping up here, I got a couple more questions here. But yeah, Gladys, do you have any key takeaways from this year's hackathon? Yeah, as far as working on the project or working on the design or hearing from other projects. Any takeaways on your end?
Yeah, I think first I want to give a big shout out to Adrian. He's a great team lead, right? I think he really made sure that, we're on top of our things and everything works great. Now we're pretty lucky to have like pretty good team where like people gather and try to figure things out and we definitely brainstorm pretty like very good ideas. And I'm glad that, we ended up choosing Cosmic Chatter. A Another thing that I want to mention is that I just love collaboration. I think that's something that keeps making me come back to hackathon to full in. Is how great the environment is. Everyone's super nice and friendly, and they're just here to like making sure that like you can get a start in your career in tech, even though you didn't come from that background. And for me, oh, like I met a bunch of amazing people like Adrian, right? Actually, after our project ended, we also gathered together with other team members and our friend, no, their friends, to contribute, continue to develop more solutions and more innovative ideas together, and that's what I love the most about this hackathon.
Awesome. Um, when you talk about collaboration, it's like, you know, obviously you do a lot of that at the workplace, but I think a large percentage of the veterans that attend are kind of looking for their next role in tech, and I think having that practice in doing collaboration helps a lot. um, I wanted to also ask, um, you know um, what was I going to say? I'm going to All right. So what I was thinking was like, did you guys anticipate, coming top, placing top third, or I'm sorry, placing the top three and actually winning second place? Um, you know, yeah. Were you guys anticipating that? And then how did you guys feel after learning that you guys actually did win second place?
Do you want to tackle that first, Gladys?
Yeah, I can go first. I was a little bit nervous at first. I remember the day of on Sunday. Oh, actually, let's go back. Rewind a little bit. Back to Saturday. I finished the design and then I was like, okay, like our back end got it. We're gonna be great. Tomorrow, easy peasy. I woke up to a phone call. I think Tonji called me and she said that, I we really need to have a group meeting right now. And it turns out like one of our back end, like he got sick, and I know, and then like a lot of things happened, so there's actually some kind of like we all got really nervous. Let's just say that. But then Adriana came in. She's very helpful. She say, and she really encourages to not give up and to like do our best, even to show the prototype, and that we can still have hope in winning hackathon. And immediately everyone like get on like the start like divide and conquer, right? Because I think by then we only have less than 3 hours to create a prototype and present it to everyone. So I remember I told him like, okay, like I can get back to it. I just need to have like a long time by myself to focus. And diamonds are made under pressure, and I believe in that. And I think it's because through all this teamwork, feedback, collaboration, when it's our turn to present, I was actually really happy, given that with the obstacles and limitations we had, we gave our all, and I think that's more precious than anything. But it's definitely like an honor to get like second place, to win second place among all these amazing projects, and I learned a lot about space and what innovative ideas we could contribute to this sector as well through listening into other people's presentation. How about
Awesome.
you, Adrian?
Yeah, coming in, I really didn't have any expectations. The only thing I wanted to get out of it was to like collaborate with others and kind of just get away at programming. So I was really excited about that. I ended up meeting a lot of interesting and amazing people. Uh, yeah, um, like Gladys had mentioned, a couple of us from the group had gone after um, and are working on a program now. So that was pretty nice to do. But yeah, I was really nervous when the time was in the crunch. We were definitely trying to make the best of it.
Nice. Yeah, as we kind of wrap up here, Gladys, I wanted to touch upon this. Looks like you're working on this special project in the medical side of things, helping scribes, um, which my understanding is like it's scribes are um, medical sort of assistants who like take notes and kind of prepare the physician. But yeah, would love to hear more about this project.
Yeah, thank you for mentioning this. So a group of us in the Bay Area, we recently launched an AI medical scribe tool. It's called Woodpecker AI. And so the reason why this is useful is because we do notice that a lot of clinicians are battling with burnout. And there are research suggesting that a lot of them is actually coming from these like clinical charting. And also with those with those like visits, like patient visits, a lot of them are spending a lot of time in front of their monitors while talking to patients, right? So what if we could create a tool that can enhance patient care as well as reducing their time spending on clinical charting, but focusing on something that matters, which is patient care. So we launched Woodpecker for free, entirely free, because our goal is truly to alleviate such burnout and also enhance quality of patient care. Um, some of the features we have is like we're HIPAA compliant, and we definitely don't sell your data. So feel free to use it and try it out. And everything's stored in a very safe and encrypted place. It's very fast. We're very comparable to all the leading tools right now on the market, but we're offering for free. So we're definitely recruiting a lot of pilot users right now from like underserved areas, low resources places, but really, we welcome all users who can benefit from this tool so we can help save your time. So yeah, like if you guys know anyone, right, like from like military doctors, nurses, or just anyone who's like interested in, like they can always reach out to me.
Very cool. I'm curious on exactly the functionality of the app. So it looks like there's an AI involved, and um, can you talk about how it works and how it functions?
Yeah, definitely. It's a very simple interface. We definitely want to make sure it's easy and flexible to use. So all you need is a computer or even like a mobile phone with Wi-Fi access. Sign into Woodpecker website, and then immediately when you start chatting with your patient, it captures your voice, transcribe it for you. So we have all the raw transcription data there, and then at the end of the visit, you can kind of look into it or just generate the clinical note. And one big thing feature that we have is that we have different templates for different specialties. So you can choose which template you have. So when you generate the note, it tailors to exactly what you need. So you can just copy and paste that into your electronic medical record. So to make it easier for you.
Nice. It sounds like it's going to save a lot of time for medical professionals and even the patient. So, yeah, kudos on working on this.
Thank you.
Um, awesome. Yeah, I don't have anything else. I think I'm going to go watch Lilo and Stitch after this if you guys watch Arrival. But yeah, thanks again for joining, and hope you guys continue to check out our future hackathons.
Yeah,
All right,
thank you
everyone.
for having us.
Thank you.
All right, that's the pod.